Ripples on Deep Water by Orphaned Account on EU3. Episode 12. Chapter 12. Teen Idol. Izuku stood next to Mei, Shinsou not far off. Mei was bouncing up the walls of her feet, and Izuku just stood lazily next to her, hands shoved into the pockets of his gym kit, and ignoring the weird look he and the other 1F students, plus Shinsou, got for being completely decked out in support items. Fang came up to Izuku's other side, ginger hair pulled into a high ponytail. Midoriya-kun, are you sure this'll work? Her accent is thicker than usual, and Izuku takes it to mean she's anxious. He huffed out a breath before responding. Have I ever led you wrong? Just last week, we all nearly got detention because you convinced us to help test your little illuminant spear on the wood teacher's desk. Mei waved her hands dismissively. It was old, and he shouldn't have such a fired hazard in the support classroom anyways. It all went according to plan, and nobody got detention. It was a total success. Hanto was suspended for 3 days. Reike reminds her. It was a total success. Izuku echoes Mei, and Shinsou snorts. It hadn't taken long for Aizawa-sensei to dub Shinsou as a problem child when they may or may not have possibly, completely by accident, blew up a locker that definitely did not belong to a Quirkless bastard from 1D that called Shinsou a villain in front of Izuku. Shinsou hadn't done anything or even been present, but Aizawa-sensei seemed to determine who was problematic by things that were caused because of them. Not necessarily by them. But Izuku would never target a person for any reason. No, sir. And welcome to UA's Sports Festival. Izuku regrets being born. I'm Present Mike here, with 1A's homeroom teacher, Aizawa Shouta. I was held at gunpoint. Izuku regrets being born slightly less. Don't be ridiculous, Aizawa. This is the first-year stage. Welcoming the invincible 1A, shaking off a villain attack with thin wits of steel. The crowd roars. Get into positions. Go, go, go! Mei raised her voice over the din that can be heard by the other students of 1F. Izuku hated being touched, but he would deal with it. They even managed to get Hantara in on the plan. Oh, and Hanata was less of an asshole now. He had apologized out of the blue to Izuku for being an ass at the USJ, and offered to be the fall guy in return. He was still a jerk, but more in a round around the edges way than a Bakugou Katsuki kind of way. Following them are the heroic 1B, General Education 1C, 1D, and 1E, Support 1F, 1G, and 1H, and Management 1I, 1J, and 1K. The others filed out, many muttering about how little fanfare they got, but 1F stayed in position. They knew exactly what they were doing. 1F? Where's 1F? Mei crackled and lurched into motion. What the crowd, plus the teachers, were seeing was both simple and elaborate, causing many to wonder how just 5 students managed to pull it off. The answer was simple. Bribery of upperclassmen who weren't participating in the festivals. But no good support students showed their hand. Twin flames shot out from the student entrance, and something was thrown into the path of the flame that exploded into nearly attention-grabbing pink. Midoriya Izuku sat on the shoulders of Coin's Flana, and Real Pearl, who ran out at top speeds with the Saw boy somehow making it work. Hatsume Mei followed closely behind, dashing on their heels while holding 2 long, equally pink streamers. Hanaban trailed last, slightly slower while holding a large sign over his head, and perfectly calligraphy. All hail the unlaundered heroes of the USJ. There was a moment of silence before a deafening mix of laughter and cheering came from the stands. Izuku used his Mei vision to look up at the announcer's box and sniffled a laugh. Yamada-sensei was frozen, mouth half open, with clearly no idea what to say, while Aizawa-sensei had a hand over his face. Eventually, Aizawa-sensei's voice filled over the stadium. And support course 1F, the other class trapped in the USJ during the attack, and took out a total of 38 villains. Are you problem children happy now? Izuku stuck his hand out, and a double thumbs up, with a lazy smile as 1F caught up with the rest of the crowd, dissembling the decorations, and Hante using Mei-Mei's flamethrower to set the poster set on fire. Shinsou and Sue walked up, Shinsou with an amused smirk, and Sue with the same blank look on her face as always, but crinkled eyes. That was cool, kiddo. She started. But won't you get in trouble? Mei-Mei winked before whispering conspiratoriously. It was a cloud pleaser. They can't touch us. It was reckless, though. Shinsou threw in. Izuku shrugged, as Reike sighed. Midoriya could have wanted to launch a dark red version of the pink bomb at 1A and have us come out like battle-weary heroes, but Hatsume was not down for that fast. It was a good idea. Izuku insists, despite the look he gets from the pink-haired friend. Kayama-sensei stood up front with her whip thingy and a suit that some of the guys nearby were freaking out over, but Izuku didn't see much of a problem with. She had to have it thin for her quirk. It wasn't meant for sex appeal. Though that could have been a secondary motive. He didn't really see the sex appeal in it either, but oh well. All right, let's get a look at this wheel to see what our kidlets are gonna do first. It's rigged, Coin said casually as it began to spin. Race with objects in it. Obstacle course? Yes, thank you. The wheel stopped, and wouldn't you know it? Obstacle race. Izuku let out an evil smirk side across his face. Oh, everyone was so gonna hate him. The students were lined up, most shifting from foot to fit and check out the competition. Despite their show of power, 1F was mostly ignored. After all, no support student had ever even posed a real threat in the sports festival, so it was all going pretty well, in Izuku's opinion. 1 minute to start. Papa Romeo? Mei-Mei announced loudly. She got a lot of weird looks, but Shinsou and 1F all took canisters from their belts and sprayed the contents onto their shoes liberally. Papa Bravo, Whiskey Hotel. A small pearl of pink sat inside thin glass held by every student in 1F, and Shinsou held the nozzle of something that looked slightly different from a flamethrower. Is the pink girl saying something? Hatsume Mei of 1F is speaking an American phonetic alphabet. Looks like they're preparing for something. Well, 30 seconds to do it, then. Izuku smirked, and those who looked upon felt a shudder run down their spines. Before them was a tunnel. Those most wouldn't. Izuku recognized it as the first obstacle. Only a few could fit at a time, and it worked perfectly with their plan. 5. He braced his feet against the earth. Mei vision fit snugly over his face. 4. Mei-Mei shot him a smile. 3. Shinsou rolled his shoulders. 2. Reike, Finn, and Hanaka readied their stance, neutral phrases becoming one of determination. 1. The world held its breath. Go, go, go! Izuku was running before his brain could process it. The flamethrower-like nozzle Shinsou was holding spat water onto the ground just inside the tunnel, and 5 glass pearls of pink followed quickly, shattering and then exploding into a pink mass that covered a good 5-meter stretch. Most of the students at the front reared back, not expecting the move at all, but 1F and Shinsou ran across the pink goo without any issue. Stupidly, Midget from 1A decided that 1F running across it meant it was safe and tried to run over with a horde of other students. That immediately got trapped in the goo. Mei crackled, opening a mic from nowhere and clipping it to her collar. The first obstacle! Narrow passage. 1F dominates using...
And that, folks, was the Pink Pearl, aka Pink Bomb Mini.
1F was beginning quickly pursued and overtaken by a couple pair of 1A students, Bakugou and Todoroki. Izuku paid them no mind, of course, simply enjoying the workout until he hit the next episode. What?
This is Hatsume Mei from the support course, Class 1F. The Pink Pearl is a stellar, less potent version of the Pink Bomb. It's an explosive with sticky and bright, resulting and expanding when it comes into contact with regular H2O. Designed by yours truly, Hatsume Mei. That's Hatsumeimei. And their partner, Izuku Midoriya. That's Midoriya Izuku. It's sure to be non-destructive, way to apprehending villains, with a method of easily removing it, told to support companies and heroes that use it.
Izuku silently thanked every god that was watching that Katsuki had his hearing aids off. He seemed to take them out before the festival started, likely to prevent interference from the noise. Otherwise, the explosive blonde would have just turned around to pounce Izuku into the dirt on live TV. Well, there was still daylight left for that.
Stay tuned for more exciting support item designs from Support Course 1F.
There was an awkward pause for the announcer's box before Aizawa-sensei resumed with a flat tone. And with that interruption, 23 students are stuck in the cocoon at the starting line. 21 more still fighting through the passage. And Todoroki Shoto of 1A takes us to the second obstacle, the Robo Inferno. Robots. Oh no, what will they do with their lightning rods and water hose? What a tragedy. It's almost like they had no idea that there would be any form of robots. Mei breaks into the recording again.
Also, by Midoriya Izuku and Hatsume Mei are the lightning rods, paired with a special tool we will later introduce. They're Erasma sticks with a high voltage charge that is enough to incapacitate, but not kill, unless you're beating up a very old man for whatever reason, and the Pink Bomb 1.0, the bigger and more potent version of the Pink Pearl. Hatsume Mei, that's Hatsmei, and Midoriya Izuku, that's Midoriya Izuku. Over and out.
Izuku grabbed a bit of scrap, an idea forming before he took off again. His friends all around him. Shinsou rode on the backs of several brainwashed students, and he rolled his eyes, expanding a hand to Izuku. Izuku smirked and took it, giving his legs a break as he settled on a particularly broad-shouldered boy beside Shinsou, nudging his purple-haired friend. Hey, this is the second time I've ridden someone today. Living like a king. Shinsou snorted, rolling his eyes in return. And Bakugou Katsuki of 1A takes us over to the fall. Don't look down. Truly the worst thing to ever happen to 1F and Shinsou. They had no plan for a giant gap. None. Truly, they're winging it. As if they didn't plan for every single thing that could come for an obstacle course. Fan grinned widely as she paused at the edge to secure her laser on her back, linking arms with everyone and going down the line. Shinsou just shook his head and took Izuku's arm, ignoring how Reiji's face got a bit blank as drones descended from the sky and started lining up with 6 of them. And then Fane points the laser directly down and activates it. And hoo boy, they went kaboom over that chasm.
By Colin Flana, that's COLLINSFIANNA. That's Heat Blast, a super focused laser that can set 2 different modes, melt and force, to either propel something at high speeds or melt through even plasteel. By Ray Pearl, that's REIKIPERL. The projectile drone meant for lightweight heroes to ride through the skies at speeds of 20 miles per hour.
And the last obstacle course, the minefield. The moment they landed, Shinsou brainwashed a couple of students to carry him independently. 1F broke apart as they went about their own ways. It was the final stretch, and everyone wanted to earn it themselves. So naturally, Izuku dug up the mines with the plate metal as Mei announced more of 1F's support items with the cheer of the natural saleswoman. Problem child, what are you doing with those mines? Izuku jumped at being addressed directly, but grinned disturbingly at the announcer box and backed up a few paces, placing the metal in front of him, like a snowboard, and then jumping directly into the pile of mines. It didn't burn like Katsuki's explosions did, or stain him with soot like a support item malfunctions would. Instead, with a bang, and more glitter than was strictly necessary, Izuku was launched into the air. He wouldn't be able to describe to Mei later what flying would felt like, both exhilarating and freeing at the same time, as being mortally terrified. But he could describe in perfect clarity what it was like to slam the metal into Todoroki and Bakugou's chest as he flew over them, and what it was like to land a bit awkwardly, but dash with long legs, sense strain to flee and avoid small obstacles across the finish line. And we have ourselves a winner! Midoriya Izuku of Support Class 1F, closely followed by Todoroki Shouta of 1A and Bakugou Katsuki of 1A. Izuku was already out the finish area by the time Katsuki was across the finish line, hearing Yamada-sensei announce, one by one, Shinsou and the rest of 1F cross. Izuku had planned for everything. He realized, except one thing. How would he hide in between rounds? I am really digging this so far. I'm digging this. I'm liking it. Okay, what's the next one gonna be called? Give me a second. Opening it up. Chapter 13, My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark, Light 'em Up. Summary, Katsuki's a bastard and all of Izuku's friends know it. Notes, plot twist. Author doesn't really have an update schedule and literally updates whenever the mood strikes to write. That's a mood. It's a mood. Is Bakugou gonna try to, hurt Izuku while they're not in around? I hope not. I hope not. Also, Class 1F is having a lot more spotlight than I thought they would in this fic. I'm not saying I don't dig it. I can't really say shit about not digging, OCs and shit. I have OCs in my fic too, and they play, crucial parts. In some of them, I think in Fluffy Mind they play crucial parts too, depending on which storyline of Fluffy Mind you're looking at. Because I'm gonna make Fluffy Mind a universe thingy like the one for an L, except it's Fluffy something each time. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Because one is Fluffy Mind. What is the other gonna be? Fluffy Time? I don't know. But I'll figure that out later. That's for future Echo to worry about and not me. Anyways, I had fun with this one. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.